The M10 Booker, that light tank that the Army didn't want you to call a light tank, has been canceled. Last week, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced sweeping changes to how the Army buys weapons, and the M10 Booker and several other programs were casualties. The Booker, which started its life as the mobile protected firepower vehicle, was meant to fill a gap between the Abrams and lighter armor like the Bradley to give light infantry a way to deal with heavier vehicles and fortifications. It was supposed to be a lightweight and air mobile heavy hitter that infantry brigade combat teams could rapidly deploy with. The extra firepower from the 105mm cannon would have wasted enemy fortifications and armored vehicles, while the M250 cal on the turret and 7.62 coaxial machine gun kept enemy infantry suppressed. But it is no more. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll put it simply, saying, "We got the Booker wrong. We wanted to develop a small tank that was agile and could do airdrops to the places our regular tanks can't. We got a heavy tank." At least they're finally admitting that this was a tank. This is kind of a shock, especially since the service has spent over $1 billion on the program and taken delivery of about 80 vehicles. Secretary Driscoll did touch on that, saying what's historically happened is we would have kept buying this to build out some number of Bookers, and then in decades in the future we would have switched. Instead, we went to the Pentagon leadership and we said, we made a mistake, this didn't turn out right, we're going to stop, we're going to own it. So what went wrong? There were some doubts around its survivability, which one would expect from a light tank that wasn't a tank, but it was also a drag on maintenance, and many of those systems that would require repair could only be touched by General Dynamics Land Systems, the manufacturer. This right to repair issue was not just cited by officials when they announced the Booker was bust, but also by Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, who tried to pass an amendment in the FY 2025 National Defense Authorization Act requiring contractors to provide the DoD with fair and reasonable access to repair materials. So what else was on the chopping block? The AH-64D Apache and maybe the E variant, the Humvee, the JLTV, which was the Humvee replacement, and the Gray Eagle drone. This leaves some unanswered questions, like what the hell are soldiers going to ride into combat? But that's a discussion for a different day. We will have a longer video diving deeper into this on YouTube next Tuesday the 13th, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to read our full story on this, check out taskandpurpose.com.